Golf simulators are really expensive. But do they have to be? I'm gonna put that to the test by building a golf simulator only using items from the notoriously cheap website, Temu. Here are the rules. Everything from the simulator has to come from Temu. Rule number 2, for every item that I buy, it has to be the cheapest in that category.
For example, if I want to buy a turf mat, I have to find the cheapest one on the website in order to fulfill that rule.
And number 3,
yeah, couldn't think of a third rule, so.
Let's get to work.
I made a short list of things that I need to buy in order to make a working simulator. First order of business is a frame and a net to hit into. This is the cheapest one I could find for $185, and it actually comes with an impact screen, so 2 birds, 1 stone. Next up, a turf mat. After sifting through all the dog pee mats, I found this one for $50. Perfect. Next, I've got to find a projector, and the cheapest one I could find here was $45. Seems legit. And finally, I need to find a launch monitor. This is the piece of technology that's going to make the entire simulator work. But after hours of scouring Temu, I may have ran into my first problem. Temu doesn't actually sell launch monitors. So I went back and read the fine print to rule number 1, and I found a website equal in sketchiness to Temu, AliExpress. AliExpress did indeed sell launch monitors. In fact, they had what looked to be a TrackMan for $331, which is insane. This is how much they typically cost. I'm not one to pass up a good deal, so I tried to buy one.
I tried to order it through the AliExpress website. They said they can't ship to my location. There was a WhatsApp number in the listing, so I called that number. I am now texting that number, and they're saying they can just ship it to me directly without using AliExpress. So he's asking for all my info. This feels wrong. Should I be giving a random Chinese number my info? Bro, I'm gonna get scammed so hard.
After a bunch of back and forth with a random Chinese number and them assuring me that this is not a scam, they sent me their PayPal username, which was the biggest BBY. No judgment here. I tried sending $331.80, but because it was so obviously a scam, PayPal stopped the payment. I tried again with Venmo, and once again, obviously a scam, so Venmo stopped the payment. I made one final effort with Cash App, and turns out their threshold for scams aren't quite as high as the other ones, so I was able to send the money through. I actually got an order confirmation from AliExpress, which I definitely did not expect, and had me thinking maybe this isn't a scam. I took an L on the TrackMan and ended up shifting gears to find another launch monitor. I found this Garmin R10 for $395, which seemed like a pretty good deal considering they're usually $600 on other websites. That price gap raises the question, is it an actual Garmin or maybe some janky knockoff? So I bought the Garmin. It took a little bit longer to ship, but in the meantime, everything else showed up, so let's see what we got.
All right, Josh, time to quit yapping and let's open this stuff up. First things first here. I think this is the, yep, 4K Ultra HD 1080p projector. We're talking cheapest quality plastic you can possibly get. Weighs half a pound. I don't even know if there's any technology in there, to be honest. Also kind of looks like Wally. I don't even know what this is. It's not marked at all. I do not remember purchasing this. What the? It's a training aid to help you swing faster. All right, let's see what we have here. Ooh, now we're talking. Dude, this actually looks kind of nice. It's our mat with multiple inserts. What? This is like a rug? You can like see where you were hitting. Whoa, that's kind of sick. I didn't even know it was coming with this stuff. That's sick. That's so satisfying. 4 different inserts. Normal fairway insert. And then it looks like we've got a rough insert. There's another rough insert, which looks exactly the same. So it's a full mat, pretty big mat, and then it's got like a place there for the Velcro inserts. I'll be curious to see how well it actually works.
Speaking of how well everything works, I forgot to tell you guys that I'm having a golf simulator expert inspect this entire setup at the end of the video. He's gonna be giving my Temu simulator a score based on his expert opinion.
Okay, this is nice. This looks like it's the impact screen. Nothing crazy there. Basically, yeah, netting, framing, some sort of bullseye here.
I got all the parts organized. I don't know why, but for some reason I love laying stuff out before I start building.
Here's the game plan for where the simulator is gonna go. So I should be teeing off from approximately here. Not too complicated. Let's start building this thing. These are the instructions. There's no backside, that's the instructions. Luckily, they're not in Chinese. I feel like that's a win.
While I build this, I'll give you guys a quick update. If you've watched any of my content before, you know that my wife and I have a bet. If I hit 250,000 subscribers, I get to keep the golf simulator in our 1-bedroom apartment. But as you can see, I'm not in a 1-bedroom apartment anymore. Mainly because, well, we're gonna need a little bit more room. So now I have a garage that I can fit a golf simulator in, but don't worry, I'm a man of my word. I'll be taking this Temu simulator down after this video, and I won't put another one up until I hit 250K. If you want to join the ride, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Now let's keep building.
Potentially running into our first issue here. I made the frame, but I don't know which way it stands up. Huh? Is that it? There's no way. I think this is correct up here. Something's going on down on the bottom though.
Because these directions were so minimal, I really had a hard time figuring out the correct way to assemble it. So I took it apart and tried again.
Let's try that again. Like, I feel like these should be at the end there. Still doesn't feel right.
That obviously wasn't correct, so I took it apart and tried one more time, and I think we might have figured it out.
Aha, that feels right. Guys, that literally took me like 2 hours to figure out. Now we gotta figure out how to get the net on. The biggest flaw so far hasn't been the quality of the products. It's been the instructions. They just expect you to know how to put everything together. I'm not that smart of a guy.
Luckily, the net was pretty simple, so we slid it on and got working on the impact screen.
I'm gonna put the screen on. I think these guys are supposed to help put the screen on. That actually looks pretty good. We need a little target practice. We're gonna put down our mat with all of our inserts here and probably test those out. Not gonna lie to you guys, mat build quality, not the best. I've been wanting to try this insert out. Let's slap that in there. Draw little lines on it. Let's take a swing and test it out. I've got a little Tacoma pitching wedge with me. Oh yeah. I feel like the whole thing just turned one color when I did that. Let's see my divot pattern. The feedback might not be there. Literally the entire thing just turns the opposite color. Probably not gonna be using that thing very much.
I also found these little triangular side nets, just in case you shank one. Figured I'd put those on.
That's the structure right there. I mean, that's pretty much it. Let's take our first official swing. Another thing I'm worried about is the net's thin, the sheet is flimsy. Am I gonna put holes in the wall behind it because of that? Let's find out. Oh wow. Check the wall. Oh, we're good. It's a week and a half later and we've been waiting patiently, but we got our new launch monitor. I'm assuming it's a real one. I'll show you guys what it actually is or what it looks like. Pretty nice case, little hard shell case there. It's crazy how small these things are. That's like the actual unit, and then it also comes with a little tripod.
I was still pretty skeptical of whether or not this thing was a real Garmin launch monitor, and I figured the best way to test that was to try and connect it to the app. So I fired up my phone, and sure enough, it connected right away. I have no reason to believe this thing isn't a legit Garmin. With that figured out, our next challenge is gonna be hanging up the projector.
Instead of hanging up the projector on the ceiling, I think an easier way to do that is going to be just mounting it right here.
This was obviously super easy to do, and I thought it was gonna work great, but there was a little bit of an issue.
It does hit my face. I'm gonna put it up higher. Let's go.
The reason I'm getting excited is not only do I have a simulator expert taking a look at this thing when I finish, but my buddies are gonna come over beforehand. They're gonna test it out with me and also try and guess how much I actually paid for this thing. I've still got a little more work and testing to do before anybody comes over, but first I'm gonna eat some lunch. Luckily, I've got these Factor meals. These are fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved meals, and they deliver them right to my doorstep.
This might sound kind of crazy, but sometimes I forget to eat during the day. I'm either editing or filming, and I completely just overlook eating. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it takes so much time to prep good food. If I want a good meal, I gotta chef it up, and I just don't have time to do that, which is why I'm such a huge fan of these Factor meals. It literally takes 2 minutes to heat these things up, and you have delicious chef-crafted meals that are dietitian approved, ready to eat. There are also just so many options for different types of food. I'm about to enjoy this smoked Gouda and bacon shredded chicken hash. Sounds pretty incredible. Honestly, that's so good. That is actually money. I'm gonna take a second bite.
If you guys do want to try out Factor, head to factor75.com or click the link down below and use code 50JoshMayer for 50% off your first box and free shipping. Huge shout out to Factor for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it.
The hardest part so far has been just getting this thing all connected. Maybe I'm just an idiot. To connect this, my phone, and the projector, my phone is connected to the Garmin, and I'm using my phone to then screen share on the projector. That is not the correct way to do this. I feel like pretty fitting for this video that it's just the most Jimmy rig setup of all time.
Despite how Jimmy rigged this thing is, I ended up getting it to work. So now I have a $670 Temu simulator. But what does it look like compared to a $4,500 setup? A few months ago, I was sent this $4,500 setup from Skytrack. This is one of the cheapest full package simulator setups on the market. So let's see how it stacks up compared to my $670 Temu one. The first test is going to be between the two launch monitors. I've got them both set up. I'm going to hit one shot and see if they give me the same distances.
So this is just pitching wedge, just stock P wedge. Okay, this is a moment of truth. The Skytrack, which is the more expensive one, said my total distance for that shot was 125 yards, and the Garmin, which is the cheaper one, said my total distance was 135 yards. So they are a full 10 yards different. Let's get another shot in and see.
I hit a few more shots with pitching wedge and 4-iron, and there was typically a 5 to 10 yard difference between the monitors. There were a few that the Garmin didn't pick up, but honestly, for $600 and in my case, $395, I'd say it was pretty solid.
I mean, I feel like we probably don't need to do any more than that. The launch monitor test done. Let's check out some of the other stuff.
Obviously, I'm not expecting the Temu gear to be as good as the $4,500 gear, but I thought it would be interesting just to see the discrepancy. Another comparison I wanted to make was the impact screens.
The first thing I noticed off of that is this one is just so much heavier. It's a really thick woven material. The Temu is more of like a tarp. So obviously just quality, not quite there. The next comparison would be the two projectors. This thing is so light, it feels like you're holding an iPhone. I would say the major issue that I'm running into with this guy is the light isn't very bright. It's not very strong from far away. It does the job. Will it last me longer than like a week if you're using it consistently? Probably not. There really is no comparison here.
Well, I went ahead and did a comparison anyway. This is a side-by-side comparison from the same distance. This is the Temu projector, and this is the one from the more expensive setup. Obviously, one is a little bit better at close distance and a little bit more powerful. The final comparison was between the turf mats. Just an obvious difference between the thickness of the base and the length of the turf. Now that we know a little bit more about the quality of the simulator, it's time to actually enjoy it. I'm gonna play a few holes and see it in action.
The screen is projecting. There's a course on there. We're just working with what we got. It's projecting, it's working. This is the first official shot. Oh, wow. Garmin did not pick that up. Sounded like something broke. Sounded like it hit a pole or something.
Unfortunately, the Garmin was still having trouble picking up my shots, but I recalibrated it, and now it should be back in business.
All right, here we go. Oh, brother. Oh, it worked. Dude, that is so loud though, this screen. It's like there's so much pressure when you hit a golf ball in between the screen and the wall. It like, dude, but it's working. It's working. Get up. It's working, let's go! Shout out Temu. Team who? Temu. Okay, hole number 2.
I ended up playing a few holes and everything worked great. I even went night mode for one of the holes just so I could see the screen more clearly.
Ooh.
Another thing to note, the projection is pretty laggy. You can see that here, proving that my screen share method from my phone is definitely not the best way to do it. Before the inspection by the simulator expert, I've got a few buddies coming over to check it out and try and guess how much I actually paid for this thing.
Ooh. Bro, initial thoughts, much bigger than I thought.
You have like a formal setup.
So everything's from Temu.
Everything's from Temu.
Could you have bought this from Temu and then a separate projector?
Could.
Because so far that's probably, I thought this was like on sleep mode or something. I didn't know
No, that's as bright as it would go. Usually the little like side nets here, you see the little triangle ones. I typically wouldn't put those up, but I knew you were coming over, so I figured I'd throw those up just in case.
Do you have a T?
The mat, it's kind of stupid. You have to flip it around in order to put the T underneath it.
Yeah, that's the first flaw. That's the first design flaw.
Design.
So when you tee up, you have to flip that every time. Hey, isn't this your new house?
I would like to get my security deposit back. Oh my gosh. All right, we're done. We're done. Bro, if it goes straight up, it's gonna go into the light. It's gonna go into the light. Oh my gosh.
The boys were also curious about the different turf inserts, so we tried them out.
You gotta, put your foot down on the one side and just rip. There you go. Dude, good Velcro. Good Velcro.
That's Amazon quality Velcro.
Also, kind of funny, they sent me 2 of the same roughs, I'm pretty sure.
I gotta admit, that's actually a nice feature. Whoa.
You feel your club drag a little more?
I feel the difference that it's like 2 inches off the ground.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Hey, the ball's above your feet. Oh, bro. That's why we have the nets, bro.
So far, it's pretty cool.
Now I'm gonna have both of them guess how much this entire setup cost me. Whoever is closest to the actual price gets a $25 Chipotle gift card. Mike, you go first.
I'm gonna guess $367.
I think it's a lot more than that though. I'm gonna say $850.
Whoa. Congratulations.
Wait, guess.
Hey,
Thank you,
congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Bro.
Congratulations.
Now it's time for a real test. This is Sean. He started a company called Rain or Shine, which is an online retailer for golf simulators. He's been doing this since 2016. The guy literally knows everything you need to know about a golf simulator. He's gonna be inspecting the Temu setup and giving it a score between 1 and 10. Let's see what he has to say.
Sean, what's going on, brother? We'll start with the net. This was an all-in-one deal, and then the screen here. Screen's a little bit thin, basically like a thicker bed sheet. We'll show you the thickness of the mat. A little bit thinner than we'd like. Projector, I don't know if you can see that. And then here is the final, the AliExpress Garmin knockoff. That's pretty much it, Sean.
The net's not bad.
Okay.
It's the netting material kind of is what it is. That doesn't look too bad. The screen might have some tears in it pretty soon.
Okay.
Turf, I bet it's fine. The Velcro thing's kind of wild. I've never really seen anything like that. Projector looks fine.
Okay.
You're gonna see an image,
Right.
But there's so many question marks with like lamp life. How long is this lamp gonna last? Is it gonna burn out in 3 hours of use or 300?
These are the questions that I was not asking.
After thorough inspection, it was finally time for Sean to give the setup a score.
Right now, I'd give the overall look like a 4 out of 10.
Okay, okay.
It's probably functional. I just don't
Okay.
know how it's gonna last.
4 out of 10, honestly higher than I thought you would be giving me.
So there you have it. For under $700, you can get a golf simulator up and running. It might have a few quirks, but it'll get the job done. Help me get to 250K so I can put this simulator back up in my garage. Also, check out this other video right here. Appreciate y'all watching. Love you guys.